Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to another live Qigong. Happy New Year! For those of you that have seen it, we've got a new year Qigong, which will be uploaded to the same channel, the Golden Light Network. So welcome to the community. And for those that are new this week, welcome. We do pretty much the same warm up and a very similar routine each week. Slight variations this week because it's a new year theme, so we're kind of releasing some old energy and welcoming in the new. So you'll get used to it. So all you need is enough space around you to be able to swing your arms. And we'll make a start just with a gentle warm up to wake our body up with this gentle Qigong practice. So starting with the hands and the wrists, just making a nice figure of 8. Keeping the elbows fixed in one place, almost like we're making a little triangle in front of us. And then going the opposite way, giving a nice flex to the fingers as well, just really waking up the body. And now we'll just do the elbow joint. So imagining the elbows fixed in space. And again, you can flex your fingers and wrists still. Taking the arms out to the sides and start opening the arms up a bit. Good. Now we'll do the shoulders. So in my backs of the palms facing forwards. And imagine the movements all coming from your upper shoulder. And it's going out round to the sides. And the hands are just following what the upper arms are doing. So letting the upper arms and the shoulders lead the movement. You might have a bit of a wiggle through your spine as well, just getting nice and loose in the body. And then palms pushing backwards, and we're going the opposite way. Again, letting those shoulders bring you round. And then a few times backwards, just to reset the shoulders, open the chest. Lovely. So now we're going to go on to just opening up our neck. So you'll know your body best. So try and keep the top of your spine and head lifting upwards. So imagine you've got like a marionette string coming out, and that'll just protect your neck a little bit more as you're turning to look to your right, the center, and to the left, and center, to the right, center, to the left. And then this time we'll just take the ear to the shoulder, just a nice gentle roll over the shoulder, 3 times to the front and back, keeping a nice lift in that crown, just to stretch a bit along the top of the shoulder, the inner arm, and then rolling it down the chest and to the other side. And open our neck to 3 different directions. So these warm-ups just fully open up the range of motion of our necks, ready for the practice. And back to center. So now we'll go on to opening up our hips and our waist. So we'll start with the waist, and imagine everything from here below, your waist below is kind of in concrete, and it's just the rib cage and the waist that's moving, just trying to open up a bit into the sides, breathe in a bit of space, giving a bit of movement to the abdomen and the other way. Now we'll add in the hips. So imagine your chest and your rib cage is kind of moving to the opposite side, just to bring a bit more of a stretch. So feeling a stretch in this side, and in that side as the ribs pull this way and the hips go that way, just again to get some nice openness through the spine and the hips. And going the opposite way, I tend to tuck my tailbone as I go to the back, just to protect the lower back a bit. Lovely. Okay, so now we'll just slightly widen our legs, slightly wider than shoulder hips, width apart, just to go gently up and down, again, just to wake up those quads and those hamstrings, wake up the legs. I tend to brush my hands up and down as well, just add an extra layer of awareness through the legs, waking them up and back up again. And then either finding something to balance against or just standing on one leg, and we're just going to open up the ankles, flexing the toes if you're barefoot and without shoes, and a nice bit of rotation through the ankles, and then shaking to the front, to the side, and to the back. Lovely. And the other one. Really flexing those toes, that ankle. And shaking to the front, the side, and the back. Lovely. So let's make a start with just silk reeling is a nice gentle one that just moves the movement all the way up our body. So imagine our waves rippling right away from our toes through our body as we do this. So we start the motion kind of moving the hips back, and then the chest comes back as the hips go forward. So it's like a wave starting at the legs, we bend and crouch down, and then that wave is coming all the way back through and the head goes forward. So it's just to get a bit of an opening, a bit of a wave going through the spine, right the way through the body, just opening up, loosening up the body, letting some energy flow a bit more freely through. Ready for the practice. So now we'll just make it a bit more gentle. So imagine just dipping your tailbone down, and the movement is the same from there. So it's still as the hips go back, the chest goes forward, and as the chest goes forward, the hips go back. And this time just lifting the crown at the top, dropping the shoulders, nice and relaxed. Good. So hopefully we're feeling a little bit more open now. So we'll start with knocking on the door of life and some spinal enlivening. So for this one, you'll need the space to just do this with your arms around your back. And what we're doing is we're starting from the waist and we're turning from the waist. So just let your arms dangle at the sides to start. And we're turning to look behind us. And then we lift the arms and we're letting the arms knock on what they call the door of life. Imagine knocking on either side of your back, but not on the spine directly. So you're just letting those hands fall and knock on this point on your lower back. And that's, the Chinese call it the door of life. I've heard it called nature's caffeine shot. So it's just a way of bringing in some extra energy into the body, opening up the spine, getting a nice twist in the spine, and finally turning your head to look behind as well. Get a nice opening in the neck. And then bring your head to the front, but keep going with the movement. Again, just getting a nice bit of opening. And slowing it down, slowing it down. So this next one's called spinal cord breathing. So we take our arms up, and then we're arching the back as we go around. So those of you that know cat-cow and yoga, it's the cat pose, opening the chest, like arching the back, the upper back. And then as we breathe out, coming down and stretching and opening the back body. Good. So to finish our spinal opening, we'll do one that's called picking the cherries. So for this one, we take one arm to our shoulder and one arm's just reaching up. And the arm that's reaching up, we're imagining this hip, this waist pulling down. So we're trying to keep it anchored so it doesn't pull too high, just so that we get a bit of an extra stretch. Imagining some extra spaciousness going all the way up through the spine. Again, just creating some extra space. This one doesn't have to be with the breath. Lovely. So taking a nice deep breath. Hands over the lower abdomen and just notice how your body feels as we start the practice beyond the warm-up. Breathing into all four sides of the abdomen, the front, the back, the sides of the ribs. So this one is called Tiger. This is, we're using our tiger claws to cleanse our energy field. So it's almost like cleansing our channels. We're going to take our claws, but we're going to retract them. So imagining these tips of the fingers kind of coming in more towards the top of the palms. And we're going to go up the body. Imagine raking up. We're getting out all the dead leaves from the gutter, and then we're coming down. Go down as low and as wide a squat as is comfortable to you. Listen to your body and find what works. So breathe in to come up, raking those leaves out, and then breathing out with an audible sigh. So again, this is just clearing out the old, ready for the new of the new year. Two more. Imagine them leaves clearing out, and then up and down. Good. One more to clear our energy. So this one's called Qi scattering. So for this one arm's going to go to the front and one arm will go behind you. Okay, so we're going to breathe in to come to the middle with our arms up to the sides. And then as we breathe out, one arm goes to the front and one arm goes to the back. We turn and look to the side of the upper arm, if you like. With that nice, loud, audible sigh. Making a ha sound. Like a nice big sigh. Imagine all the old of last year that no longer needs to carry, just washing away with the breath. And slow it down. Lovely. So finally we'll shake the tree just to finally loosen up any of those last leaves. So this is just gently bouncing in your lower body, bouncing in the knees in a kind of hip, legs shoulder width or wider. And again, making that nice loud audible sigh. Letting the whole body be soft, really flexing the wrists, relaxing the shoulders, bouncing up and down from the tailbone. Keeping the crown nice and lifted so you've got a bit of a nice straight spine. Letting go of any emotions, any tension in the body. Always imagine rocking a baby at this point. Something we naturally do to soothe babies. Really let that loose for the last 10 seconds or so. As we slow it down. Slow it down. And just notice how you feel in your body. You might be feeling a tingling sensation. The energy is just released through your body. Lovely. Okay, so this next one is Wuji. We'll start in the Wuji posture. So we bring our hands facing the ground. Our legs are shoulder width or wider, slightly wider, comfortable stance. And it's, imagine dropping the tailbone slightly so you've got a nice straight spine. And just breathing into the lower abdomen. Imagine you've got a table in front of you, so your hands are slightly active and pushing down. A nice bit of openness in the palms and the fingers. Creating some space for a bit more energy to flow through, opening up the fascia, the connective tissue through the body. And just hold this stance for a minute, just to let our bodies, our minds come fully into the moment, focusing on your foundation, your legs, staying active in the hands, just letting some energy build up in the body. Those nice deep abdominal breaths. Lovely. So this next one, the first of our flows, is called compressing the pearl. So we bring our hands to kind of mirror line the pelvis. And we're going to breathe in as the arms go up. And then the arms will come down and compress the pearl. So we're expanding our energy, rising in the legs, lifting in the chest. And then we're bringing them back in, compressing it. So imagining that pearl opening up our arms and chest. And then breathing out to condense that in front back to the pelvis area. It's called the lower dantian, the kind of lower reservoir of energy in the body. If anyone's sat in a chair, you can still do these exercises just with the upper body, letting the chest rise, and then back to the lower dantian. Imagine the shoulders lifting you, imagine that expanding ball of energy between your hands, an invisible ball that just pushes those hands apart nice and wide, like pumping a bellows. One more time. That's it, bring the hands back and just noticing how you feel. As we go on to our next flow, it's called flying hands. So we're going to bring our hands up the front of our body, out and down. So I'll show you from the side. We start the pelvic region, trace up the chest to the sternum, pushing out to shoulder width. The wrists turn so the palms are flat to the floor, and pressing down. Still in that Wuji stance with a slight tuck of the tailbone and lift of the crown. So breathing in to lift. And once our wrists have turned, then we breathe out. Slight sink in the knees. We go down, slight lift as we come up. Last time. And back to the abdomen. And just notice how your body feels. We'll move on to opening the chest. This time the palms face down like in Wuji. And they're coming up and out to the sides, palms facing up. And then pushing back down. So imagining we're connected to the earth. And then those palms are drawn up, connecting to the above, connecting to the sides. Again, breathing to lift. Exhaling to sink. One more time. Good. This next one is called Swimming Dragon. So we're going to take one palm up, one palm down, and imagine we've got an elevator going in front of our body, and that we're keeping our palms parallel through the floor to the floor throughout. So this is bringing a bit of a stretch to the spine again. Arms are slightly forward, but they're not overstretched. Still a slight bend in the elbow, shoulders nice and relaxed. And then we turn as if we're turning a key in a lock. So the elevators are lifts are passing each other. And then we're going to imagine in the middle finger is the key in the lock, so it has to stay nice and parallel. So the arms are quite narrow to the body. Slightly upward. And this time we'll let the breath. So we breathe in as they're pushing away from each other. Turn the lock and breathe out. Turn the key, breathing in, push and breathe out. Turn the lock, breathing in, pushing, exhale. Last one. Turn the key back to center and back in front of us. So we're now going to do bear swimming, which is to open the chest and invite new energies in, new inspiration, ready for the new year. So it's a bit like breaststroke. So we're going to stretch slightly out and forward, and at the horizon line in front of our chest, taking our hands like a diamond, and we're stretching. Imagine the palms are a bit open as well, and we're stretching all the way around behind us. So we're going to breathe in, new inspiration, we open up, we expand. And as we breathe out, there's a slight bend in the knees. diamond. Trying to slow and slightly elongate the breath. Breathing into all four sides of the torso. Welcoming in new inspiration, literally to be inspired. We receive a lot of our energy through our breath. And breathing in with that new ideas, inspiration, and energy and motivation when the time's right. Just breathing in spaciousness. Releasing on the exhale anything that's no longer needed. And I'll just show you from the side view. One more time. And now we're just going to reverse that just for 3, just to breathe it into the heart. So we start with our palms in front of us, and we're going to breathe it in. And then imagine it's circulating, and the palms come to meet at the backs of the palms. And then we're turning and breathing in. Opening it up, breathing into the heart. Welcoming that inspiration into our heart field. Opening our hearts in love and in trust. Feeling the generosity of that open heart for ourselves and for all of life. It's part of our world. Final time. And now we'll just stand 30 seconds and just opening the palms, facing upwards, and just closing the eyes and just imagine receiving everything you most need for this moment, for this year. Just opening our hands to the universe, to the heavens. The Chinese call the upper aspect, the Shen, the consciousness. Just opening up to the aspect of ourselves that is abundant. And it might be a quality of energy you most need right now. Peace, love, faith. And we'll finish by drawing down the heavens. So we take our arms out to the sides, come up above the head, and then just showering down. Imagine purple light just washing through the whole body. Washing through the mind, through the heart, the abdomen, the whole body. Imagine it washing through the mind fields, all your thoughts, any overthinking. washing right the way out the tips of your toes, dissipating in the purple light. This time your emotional body, clearing out any emotions. And just open to receive these last few cycles, whatever quality of energy you most need right now. Always following your own breath. Trying to slightly increase the length of the breaths, the relaxation of the body, and this time we'll bring our thumb and our first finger to interlock in this kind of position. Bring it to our abdomen. Just taking some nice deep breaths. Again in our Wuji posture, so our legs are shoulder width, slight bend in the knee, slight dip in the tailbone, lift in the crown. Relaxed in the shoulders and the arms, and just breathing deep into the belly, into the lower back and the sides. And just noticing, how does your body feel in this moment? Checking in with the body, with the mind, the emotions. Noticing how you feel now compared to when we started. And just feeling waves of relaxation washing through the head, the scalp, relaxing the facial muscles and the jaw, soft melting down the lower neck, the neck, all the way down to the lower back, every vertebrae. Relaxing the shoulders, the arms, down to the fingertips, the chest, the lower abdomen, all the way down the hips, the thighs, the knees, shins and calves, to the tips of your toes, your whole body relaxed, you're upright, as if there's a marionette string holding your crown up. Effortless effort, standing in full awareness and bringing the legs together. This last one's called Bamboo Sways in the Wind, just letting the energy rock and sway wherever it needs to go, keeping that crown lifted. Imagine that marionette string holding you upright while your body's free to rock and sway with the flexibility of bamboo in a wind. Letting the energy circulate where it's most needed in your body. Breathe in nice and fully. One more nice deep breath. And we'll bring our legs back to shoulder width. And this time I won't be mirroring you, you'll be going around your own large intestine. So hands tracing up the right hand side of the body, across the top of the abdomen, and then down the left hand side. Just circulating the energy around our vital organs, around the abdomen and the lower dantian, that lower reservoir where we started opening up our energy at the start of the practice. And making the circles progressively smaller and smaller. One more nice deep breath in. And relax with an audible sigh. So I hope that's been everything it needed to be for you. Thank you for joining us for this practice. Namaste, and thank you to all of the lineage of Qigong that's made this ancient art transcend and pass on to today. So I hope you've enjoyed that practice, and blessings for your new year. Take care.